Hello and welcome to another video review by Rich from BenchTec. We moved manufacturers today. We're on to some EVGA boards. So we're looking at the EVGA P55 classified 200 board. This is their top of the range model, their best P55 motherboard. They've got about 6 below this, so you've got plenty to choose from. But this one's basically designed for anyone who is going to be using this for extreme overclocking. It's basically aimed at those people who are going to be using liquid nitrogen or going at least sub-zero on their processors. So if you're just looking to stick this in a case and use it for a rig, probably not the board for you. You want to look at one of their other boards in the range. But without further ado, let's take a look at the motherboard. I received this one this week, so this is hot off the press, as it were. I don't think there's very many reviews around of this, so you should be in for a treat here. Right, first look on the box contents. We've just got an overview guide, the motherboard manual, and a disc there for the drivers. And let's take this apart here and show you what's really in the box here. We've got a few things straight out of the pack here. We've got 3 different SLI bridges, all different sizes. So we've got a flexible one there for your just 2-card SLI, and then we've got two bridges there for the 3-card SLI, 3-way SLI there, and they're 2 different sizes depending on where you're going to put the cards in the motherboard. And the last one here is the EVGA ECP V2. This is a little control that we can plug into the motherboard that gives us a few options on there for doing different things with overclocking. I'll explain a bit about that in a minute. Moving on onto the board itself, let's get it out of the packaging here. Sorry for the noise, but there we have it. The P55 classified 200 board. Now the 200 does mean it's got an NF200, NVIDIA NF200 chip on the motherboard, which is basically to allow the motherboard to provide more PCI Express lanes to enable more graphics cards to be used in this board. That's its main feature. You can see here it's just got 16 times physical slots here for the graphics cards and PhysX cards and RAID cards or anything else you want to put in here, and it's got nothing else. It's not even got a PCI slot. We've got 1 PCI times 1 slot at the top here. That's the only different thing you've got here. And just above that, you'll notice there's a standard Molex connector that you can just plug in a power feed into. That's if you're running multiple graphics cards and really pushing the power boundaries of the motherboard. That just helps out a bit on the power, but you don't have to plug that in. Right, let's have a look around the CPU socket here. Just got a little guide there as to what we need to do before taking it all apart. But, there we go. That's the socket there, the P55 socket. They've got a black anodized socket on this board, just for looks more than anything else really. But if you notice in the middle, inside the socket here, they've got a slightly different layout to many of the other boards. These have got some high quality LICC capacitors. That's low inductive ceramic capacitors. So they're a bit special, and they're meant to provide much cleaner power to the CPU. Hopefully that will be the case. We'll show you that in the overclocking results. Moving on up to the top of the board here, we've got 2 6-pin power connectors that can provide up to 600 watts of power to your CPU. So that's if you are overclocking on liquid nitrogen and pushing an awful lot of volts through the processor. You can use both of them, but the CPU will only draw from those 2 connectors what it needs. So although if you're only going to be on air or water cooling and you're not pushing it too far, you would only need to plug in 1. You could plug in 2 if you wanted, if your power supply supports that. So you're not going to damage your processor by plugging in a second one. We've got a heatsink here on the power delivery, and the power delivery for this board is a 10+2 phase digital power delivery using Volterra MOSFETs underneath the heatsink here. It uses a very high quality power supply. design, and that can operate at up to 1333 kilohertz frequency, which is significantly higher than most other motherboards, and I think it's possibly the highest frequency that you can get on a P55 motherboard. Much the same sort of design, and sort of 1333 is the same frequency that you could get off the X58 classified board. So that's obviously doing really well there. Have a look at the I/O panel here. We've got 6 USB ports. Got a PS2 port for keyboard or mouse, a clear CMOS button. This, I believe, is the plug-in for the ECPv2. That's that panel that we can plug in to control the motherboard on the remotely. We've got 2 external serial ATA ports here, a FireWire port, 2 gigabit Ethernet, and then I think this is a 7 or 8.1 channel sound module here using an ALC 889A codec. So that's quite a high quality sound card there. Moving on round, you can see we've got a switch here. This has 3 positions, and it's the BIOS select switch. So if I show you the BIOSes as well, we've got 3 of them here. That's 3 BIOSes you've got on this motherboard. A lot of other manufacturers give you 2. EVGA have gone a step further and they now give you 3. And this top one here is actually removable. You can flick these panels up very easily and just take the chip out, which makes it really easy for overcoming any problems there, or testing BIOSes or anything like that. So that's really good. I like that. Across the bottom here we've got 3 connectors here, one for reset, one for power, and one for the clear CMOS. They're just on the board, so you can quickly provide that. That's good for us. Moving on around, we've got 3 USB headers here. That's for 6 more USB ports, and a FireWire port header here, which you can plug in off the attached or the included accessory that they give you for that. Lastly, we've got here is the LCD debug LED, so it's an LED, not LCD, sorry. That just provides you with some debug options on boot, and I think the CPU temperature when you get into Windows. That's quite smart, that bit. And carrying on round, 6 serial ATA ports there, supporting all the usual RAID configurations from the ICH10R, well, the PCH, which is underneath this this heatsink here. That's the only part of the motherboard that is the chipset here, and the rest of it is controlled by the CPU. Further round, got standard power